book, you share about your experience going no contact with your father. And I know personally, and I know so many can relate. And I just love how realistic you are about it. And you share how estrangement is not freeing or joyful, but necessary. And
Hmm.
I just adore that because it's just more realistic than what most people just think, oh, you're going no contact to almost hurt the other person. And I feel like you're going no
Hmm.
contact to help yourself stop hurting.
Yeah.
So I was hoping that maybe you could elaborate on that a little bit and maybe share some advice for those in the community who are currently going no contact or need to go no contact with a parent.
I think, that is an independent choice that only you can make for yourself. And I
Hmm.
try to be really patient with people too. When I see them being
Yeah.
hurt by their parents over and over, I'm like, that is a decision that you have to make when you are ready.
Yeah.
Um, but I think um what's helpful is talking. I don't think we talk about estrangement enough and how common it is, but it actually is tremendously common. It like there are times when you need to separate yourself from somebody because it is so freeing and it is so necessary. And if we could all be more open about how it's helped us and how, you don't have to, they don't have to have like killed your dog for
Right.
you to not want to speak with them again either. You can have your own reasons, and there can be a multitude of reasons. And you're the only one who really needs to justify that. You don't have to justify it to anyone else. Um, and say, well, this is the point where it's enough, right? This is the point where this person is a bad enough person that that they like qualify for this special evil person category where I I am now justified in cutting them out of my life. That's not really how it works. If
Yeah.
they
And
if you
if you always wait that long for it, you don't always get to the
right.
other side.
Because lots of people there, I mean, not everybody is a terrible person who
Mhm.
entirely, right? I mean, lots of people, they'll be like, oh, but I love you or whatever. And then you go like, oh, okay, well, I'll come back because look at this nice thing that they've done, or look at that nice thing that they've done. It's okay for those nice things to not be enough. It's okay for them to be like a complicated person who has a good side and a bad side. It's
Yeah.
okay for them to be imperfect and also have their good qualities. That doesn't necessarily mean that they need to be in your life. You can still see those things about them and
Yeah.
appreciate those things and say like, I still need to draw boundaries because you're
Yeah.
hurting me.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I feel like it's such a common cycle that happens, right? And I know it's happened to me a bunch of times where I'm like, okay, I'm going to go no contact now, right? And this is you did this and this is like a crossing the line where like now I know that I can. And then as soon as I like pull myself back from it, all of like that love bombing and nice
Mm-hmm.
and kindness comes in to be like, "Wait, should I be doing that?" And
Because
then
they
it's
know
like
it's
this,
going to work on you.
of
Yeah.
course. Of course. It's a rough cycle.
Right.
It's a rough cycle to break out of, but I love that too, that it doesn't always have to be such a drastic thing to remove yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And even I think too, getting in the mindset of it doesn't always have to be forever, right? If you want to go no contact for a long time or
Yeah.
for even just months, even if you just want to try it out, that's okay too, right? It doesn't have to be this concrete forever. And if it is, that's okay too. Like whatever works
Yeah.
for you, right?
Estrangement exists on a big spectrum.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that can be limiting contact to once a month, like a 15-minute phone call. And it
Yeah.
could mean never talking to them again. And whatever works for you to keep yourself safe.
Yeah.
And you can always create more distance if you need to.
Yeah, I love
Um,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so in the final chapter, you share how CPTSD became a strength during the pandemic, which I feel like most people don't even think can be. So would you mind
Mhm.
elaborating on that and sharing with the community how CPTSD could be an asset?
Yeah. I mean, look, CPTSD is not a mental illness in times of war. It is not a mental illness in times of danger. This is, there's nothing inherently broken about complex PTSD. It's an adaptation, right? And that has been in existence from the beginning of time. I mean, it exists in monkeys, right? Because it's supposed to keep us safe. It's supposed to teach us, look, these are what dangerous things are. Avoid the dangerous things. Go
Or
get,
here's how you can survive these
right.
dangerous
Here's
things.
how you survive. Go Hulk if this happens. Go, start fawning if this happens. Like, this is when you grew up with someone, in my case, with someone, two people who are very, very dangerous, I learned how to placate them. That's literally how I stayed alive. So, like, that's how you stay alive from a tiger who's trying to eat you in caveman days. And so, yeah, if you're going to be in this peaceful, soft, nice, cushy American society where there's nobody coming after you, whatever, then it's gonna look a little cray cray.
I love that.
But then if all of a sudden you're in apocalypse, zombie apocalypse starts happening, guess who's best prepared? You are,
Yeah.
right? So because you're now a hard ass motherfucker. And so in the time of the pandemic, that was hard ass motherfucker times. So everybody else is like, oh my God, I'm so lonely and I'm so scared and I'm freaking out. Whereas some of us, not all of us, but some of us, including myself, were like, well, look, I've been living with the expectation that I was going to die any moment for like the past 30 years of my life. So I'm like fairly used to this. So I guess other people are like, I'm trapped in bed. I'm like, well, I'm writing a book and it's fine. So, um, yeah, I think a lot of times I have seen this in my life too, where sometimes if someone is going totally ham on me, like somebody is screaming at me or whatever, I get really calm and I can placate them and I can talk to them in rational, where other people are like, wow, that person is, other people are shutting down because that person is so crazy. And so in times of incredible danger and stress, we are assets. I mean, it sucks to have to wait for those times of incredible danger and stress. Nobody wants to have to do that. But it is not an inherently evil, bad condition to have.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that you're kind of changing the conversation on that and allowing a little bit more hope and a little bit more of the positive side of things for it. I know not just me, but like I know the whole community. I speak for all of them when I say like thank you for what
Oh,
you're doing. I really feel like you're kind of paving the path for an understanding of CPTSD and allowing it to be more spoken about.
well,
And
you share a lot of content about that as well on your Instagram. You have a lot of great um, quotes and images and guides where you are also working to destigmatize. So, thank you for your work.
thank you so much. One question that I ask all of our guests is sharing something that has helped you and something that has not been helpful for you in your healing journey, just so we can kind of bring awareness that healing isn't one size fits all, and something that works for you might not work for me, and vice versa.
Yeah. Um, Lots of things help me, like restorative yoga really helped me, which I didn't really expect to help me, but it
Yeah.
helped me understand more about exactly what it means to be in your body, which I had no
Mm,
idea before then.
yeah.
Um, and one thing that didn't help very much was group therapy.
Interesting.
Because I think uh just hearing, especially, I mean, the group therapy that I attended was unmoderated, and so I think it was just like
Mm,
hearing everybody talk about how their trauma every week was just really triggering. Um,
draining, right?
and draining, and then it made me feel like I needed to take care of everybody, and it just wasn't for me, or the group that I was in wasn't for me. So yeah, I'm
Yeah, that can be a lot without a moderator in there making sure it's
yeah,
kind of going, and you're automatically going to jump into that role, right? Because you're so accustomed to
right.
having to
We
play that
all
role.
did. All of us CPTSD kids were jumping in to placate the person, and then it was just it got really weird. Um, but yeah, I think later I found out that the moderator is actually supposed to like stop people from going too deep when they start
Mm,
sharing, and sort of uh
reel it
not
back in.
let reel it back, let everybody just share a little bit,
Yeah.
and then practice a lot of like self-care techniques for
Mm,
the whole group so they can all
mhm.
take care of each other and take care of themselves without getting too triggered. So yeah.
Okay, so not everything is one size fits all.
Mm-mm. No.
Um,
Though I think there were people who got a lot out of that group. So
mm,
yeah, if and they're totally entitled to do that. And I'm so happy for them.
absolutely. And I know that you mentioned, and I know that you talk about it in the book that you did EMDR and it was helpful, but I know that
Right.
you also stopped EMDR after like 3 months or so.
Yeah.
So was it helpful like to a point or?
I think nothing was as helpful as the first time I did it. I think I did it and then it was like, wow, boom, earth shattering. And then every subsequent time was kind of less
Mm,
meaningful until the point where I was just kind of like, eh. And I
yeah.
don't think that like, which is not to say that it wouldn't be helpful again in the future for something, if I wanted to return to it. It just sort of, I tapped out on it personally. I know that it wasn't helpful for you. And,
No.
and that's
No.
okay too.
Yeah, I'm like, I want to run away talking about EMDR. It was so bad. But you didn't like find that it was harmful for you.
No,
Okay.
I think it went from being helpful to quickly just meh.
That's fair. And that's great to know too because it doesn't have to be harmful, but it might not be what you continually need on your journey.
Yeah.
As you change, things that you'll need will also change.
Yeah. I've needed to switch up a lot of things on my journey. There's certain kinds of meditation that are never helpful to me, like
Yeah.
emptying your mind kind of meditation. That was never helpful to me. I can't do that. I can't, it's just not going to work. Um,
There's too many thoughts up there.
there's too many thoughts up there. I need somebody guiding me and telling me to like
Yeah.
think about like flowers and lights and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So, what does CPTSD look like for you today, and what does continually healing from it mean for you?
um, I'll always be healing from it. It looks easier today, but I still get triggered and
Mhm.
I still get really afraid of like losing people. I still um, feel insecure in relationships. I know how to better comfort myself with that and how to better take care of people and how to better ask for comfort in relationships
Yeah.
or at least affirmation and to make repairs,
Right.
um, which is really helpful. And yeah, to ask for what I want. But I'm not really
Mm.
great at asking for what I want still. Um, there are times when I get mad at Joey because he's not giving me what I want, but it's not fair because I haven't asked for it because I was too afraid to, which is,
I can
I'm
relate
working on
so
it.
much.
I'm working on it. And I'll always be working on it.
Yeah.
Um,
But
you know,
navigating it has definitely gotten easier than before.
I like know what I'm supposed to be doing
Right. Right.
now is the thing. And I don't,
Or you know what's happening
yeah,
to you. Hmm.
yes. And I know what's happening. And I don't always like do the thing that I'm supposed to be doing is the problem because I'm too triggered or whatever.
Well,
Um,
sometimes you can't.
or too in
Sometimes
my
you don't have
head.
the capacity
Right.
to navigate it
Right.
in the way that you think you should.
But does anybody do what they're supposed to be doing all of the time? No.
And that's
So
okay.
yeah.
That's okay.
Hmm.
Because you got to give yourself some compassion and leniency.
Yeah.
We deserve it. I think we deserve
Absolutely. We
it.
do. Yeah. But there's a
All of
lot more
us.
hope. There's a lot more hope and there's a lot more like okay, it's not working today,
Hmm.
but maybe it'll work tomorrow. Maybe I
Yeah.
can use the tool tomorrow and I know what to do. It's not like
Hmm.
nothing will ever how I used to feel is like nothing will ever work ever again and I don't get along with people and I don't know why. And
Yeah.
I never feel that way anymore.
Oh, I'm so glad that you don't feel that way. You
Yeah.
don't deserve to feel that way. And that's
Nobody
it's
does.
good too because nobody does, and it just shows that there is hope. I feel like I get asked a lot, like, does it ever end? Are you ever healed? And I'm like, such
Mm.
a such a difficult
But
question.
like, who
Like, I think we're
is?
always healing.
If you feel like you're just healed, if you feel like you're done, if you feel like you're done growing, you're probably a jerk, honestly. Because
Right?
do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
everybody hurts people on accident. Everybody
yeah,
has different phases of their life that they need to adjust to.
yeah,
Um, and so it's like, um, everyone, it's not, healing and growing is not a uniquely CPTSD thing. And once you
hmm,
realize that like you're just trying to do your best and learn and grow like everyone else, and this is just a
yeah,
part of the human experience, I think it also becomes a lot less shameful.
yeah, absolutely. Everybody is healing and growing, not just us with
Mm-hmm.
CPTSD.